my team's been in the top 3 for like probably the past 7 months.
Right.
Let's say who started.
Right. Right.
Except for like once we gained like 3 new people, and it took me about 6 weeks to get them up to speed.
Oh, okay.
But I had to coach them up. But tell me about this 555 thing.
Okay. Before I do that, I want to ask you a question. Okay. So you manage 106 reps, right? Is that correct?
No, I have 13.
13.
I have to do. Yeah, we had 19 teams. They just restructured and consolidated it to 12. So there's 12 teams.
But how many reps? How many reps?
106.
Okay.
Customer service agents.
Okay, so basically they get the phone calls from the customers that got loans, right? If they have questions, is that correct? Okay. Okay. So you overlook to see how they handle the customers with problems, correct?
Yeah, we manage them.
Okay, all right, that's cool. Do you mind if I ask the name of the company?
It's Loan Depot.
Oh, Loan Depot, that's right. You told me, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, we're the second biggest privately owned mortgage.
Okay.
We're right behind Rocket.
Okay, I got you. Okay. Yeah, one of my clients is I got a real estate client, an insurance client, a digital marketing client. I have a janitorial client that's nationwide in all 50 states. And my janitorial client, they only deal with billion-dollar freight companies. So I'm talking to billionaires every single day. And the digital marketing company was trying to solicit me for digital marketing, but I used to sell that. And by the end of the conversation, I got them to hire me for my services because they need sales. I don't need digital marketing. Because what I told them was, I said, there's 1,000 of many of you. Why are you different? If you could tell me how I make a profit, then I'll hire you right now. He couldn't do it. I said, but I could help you become different than every digital marketer. So because I do digital marketing, I have a division for that, but I never talk about it because I don't want people to perceive me as a digital marketer. I want people to see me, I'm a salesperson. I produce sales. I'm not ashamed of that because without sales, you don't have anything. So I get people to focus on that, not advertising or marketing or branding, because if you don't have sales, you can't do marketing, you can't advertise, you definitely don't have a brand. So I try to keep it simple. So that's how I'm able to turn people around where at the end you need sales, right? So I focus on that. And the insurance companies from the Philippines, because I used to have a call center there. And so I don't sell insurance because I'm not licensed and I never want a license because then I can't be creative, right? But I taught them how to sell insurance policies on a higher conversion ratio. So if they talk to 10 people with my strategy, they'll convert 40% on the initial appointment. They'll close it. And then about 50% of their pipeline will eventually buy from them. So it took a while to put it together, but I've been able to do that, and it's called social media conversion strategy. And then for the real estate, I have a boot camp called Become More Than an Agent. And then I ask the agents, before I take you on as a client, if you can't tell me what your value is, what your skill is, I don't want you as a client. What? I don't want you. Because if you don't know your skill and your value, how are you going to help anyone? So they can't answer it. I do hire them because I like them, but I wanted them to know that's the reason why you don't produce sales, because you can't even explain what you do. You got a license to be an agent, but what is it that you do? And if you can't answer in less than 5 words your profession, then you don't know what you're doing. In my opinion. I put a posting today that I talked about 100% discipline and then total commitment. And it's good.
Did you see how I responded?
Yeah, I think I responded back. And a lot of people are responding because to me, everything's about a mindset and an attitude, right? So if there are days I don't feel like getting up and doing nothing, That's when I push myself. Because at the end, no matter how I feel emotionally, that doesn't determine my decision. I have to still do what I have to do, right? And that's when the commitment comes in. You're committed to being disciplined and being focused, But
Yeah, it's never about feelings.
yeah, and that's how. And unfortunately, people react on emotions a lot, and there's controlled emotions because, like, there's a thing I call the 3 E's of selling: excitement, enthusiasm, and energy. Because excitement sells, right? But you got to know how to use that excitement when you're just not going 100 miles an hour. You got to know how to do it in a story format, And I preach that. And then I preach the 3 V's, like there's perceived value, there's intrinsic value, and then there's real value. The perceived value is when you first talk with people, you always have a perception, right? As you start to peel the onion and you have conversations or you meet with them and you have a relationship with them, the onion's either going to smell really good or it's going to smell really bad. You either have intrinsic or you lose it, right? So I teach my salespeople, don't be ashamed. And then the real value is when people buy you and they buy the services, now you have a real relationship because you went through the hard stuff. And so I keep it more mental than anything. And I say, you never have to lie. You never have to embellish. You never have to oversell what you have because you just sell. So and I tell my people, this don't accept haughtiness and lies. Lies, if you lie one time, just leave because I'm not even going to listen to you because it's unacceptable to me. Because if you lie about just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, integrity.
Yeah, and every.
It's all you have.
Yeah, at the end when the smoke clears, right? What people are going to remember is your word and your character, not what you did materially. Well, hold on a second. This is over 30 years experience. I've taken, just to give you a little background, I'm a venture capitalist by trade. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a money raiser. I've been raising money for a long time, taking companies public, acquisitions, reverse merger. And so I started raising money for myself because I knew that the game was rigged. And if you follow the movie Wolf of Wall Street with Leonardo DiCaprio, those are my homeboys. I started my career like that. When I realized they were doing unethical things, I couldn't do it. So I left and I competed against them. And 3 of those guys in 2 years, when they got shut down, they wound up working for me because I refused to accept a Ponzi scheme, which is what it was. But what I learned was the power of hypnotic selling. Why do people send me millions of dollars over a telephone call? That's powerful. And when you learn the power you have, you can either use it for good or evil. Because you know how to manipulate, you know how to make people feel, and that's a powerful thing. But if you don't use it for the right purpose, then it's wrong, right? Just like at the politician. So as I was getting feedback from investors, I started writing a diary about why are you investing in me? Like I couldn't comprehend the power that I had. So I had to ask, like, why are you sending me millions of dollars? You don't even know me. Because it wasn't normal to me, but it was normal in their world. So they were telling me, and then I started writing it, and then it became a book called Hypnotic Selling. And so after reading a lot of sales books and talking to a lot of people for 30 years, I said, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. There's basic fundamentals. I used to set up corporations, estate planning, and do all that, right? So I got the privilege of speaking to so many business people at every level. I said, there's got to be a simple way because a lot of this is smoke and mirrors. So I stick to basics. So what I came up with was, how do I produce sales without having to pay for advertising, all the shenanigans, all what I call the bells and whistles that you don't really need, but you got to stay basic. And because of social media, everything is fast, right? There's a lot of shortcuts, but there's not a lot of success because of that shortcut, right? So I said, I'm going to stick to basics and I'm going to apply on social media without doing what everybody else is doing. How do I do that? Well, I cold call. So when I look at social media, I look at social media as many, many, many modern day yellow pages. That's all. It's just more businesses out there that are looking for me. Then I say, okay, now that that's the mindset, now I'm going to look at it as a mutual fund approach. You know what a mutual fund is? There's a lot of stocks in the fund, which I used to do. So I looked at every platform as a different stock. Well, this one has this type of category. This one has this, including Google. I get leads on Google, Better Business Bureau, Yelp. I get leads for free. So I said, let me try it for myself before I start putting a program to offer to people, right? So that's what I did. So when I first started, to offer to people, right? So that's what I did. So when I first started it in 2018, before I left Las Vegas to come here, people were laughing at me. They were like, cold calling on social media? Are you crazy? That's old. I said, who told you that? I read this book ever. I said, well, don't put the limitations on me, because the more people tell me it can't work, the more I know I have something. So long story short, a few years later, when I was making it happen and people saw that I was producing sales, they asked me, Paul, how are you doing it? I said, I'll tell you what, you pay me and I'll show you. Because when I was offering to you for free, you didn't believe in me. You either believe in me when I have nothing, but I have a vision. But if you're not part of that vision, I don't want your business when I make it. I just don't want it. I don't need your money. So here's the 555. And I'm going to send you some where on Instagram, Facebook, Alignable, and I think I sent it to you, and LinkedIn, I have a strategy that I help my client produce $20,000 to $45,000 a week on each platform through the 555 rule. Okay. Yeah, and here's the thing is, before I go into it, let me ask you a question. If 10 people called you right now and they left your voice message, I want your services, are you going to call them back?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they need me, but I don't have services yet. Like,
no, but I'm just, it's right. It's an example, right? And I do this with my prospects. So they go, yeah, I call them back. Why? Because they are calling you, right? I said, so why when people like your content and they comment on your content and they share your content, how come you don't call them? That's a voice message to me. You see the mindset? I try to use that. So they're right there. Why won't you call them? Now, I call people when they like my Facebook. I call them, they surprised, say, let me ask you a question. Why do you like my content? I don't know. I just like it. Do you use it? No. Well, why not? I'll tell you what, do not like my content unless you're going to use it, because then I'll never know if it works. I don't need followers. What I need is clients. What I need are real customers. So I think outside the box. I'm not a traditional, being an influencer. I make more money than somebody who has 100,000 followers because they don't know how to utilize that, right? Now, I'm not saying that's not valuable. I'm just saying is I don't go for that. I let it build on its own. I let real. So I got 940 followers on Instagram. I know about 70% of them, and I got 20 clients from them. So which one would you rather have,
Well, the thing is, what you're doing is you're doing something different, but you're putting back the person.
Yes.
That's what you're doing.
Yes.
You're putting back the humanality in it.
Yes.
I can see, because I think bigger. So and that's what I do, and that's why my team is where they are, is because I've taught them to bring back the humanality.
Yes.
They don't look at metrics. What I preach to them is, do not. You take every single phone call and you treat them like they're your brother, sister, mama, daddy, grandparent, and uncle.
Right.
You focus on that call. You make it the very best call you've ever. You're still going to do the do.
Right.
You're still going to provide the transaction, but I want you to connect.
Right.
On a human level, right. Bring it down to that, and then I'll worry about the metrics. If something starts falling, I'll coach you. I'll teach you.
Right.
And then you know what they do? They're just so balanced out. They're all top performers. I'm blessed in that. I have nobody slacking. They all drunk the Kool-Aid. They've all bought in, and they tell me that they're like, we want to perform. We want to do it because they're enjoying it.
Right.
They're loving it. But what they've done is they've done something different. They've made it more human. And that's what you're doing that's different.
Yeah.
I'm feeling my passion coming out.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But that's what's different. Everybody else on like social media is all about putting content.
Right.
Content.
Right.
Well, what you're doing is you're taking it and you're connecting the content.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, what's going on?
Right. At first, people thought I was crazy. They go, "Why are you calling me?" I said, "Why not?" Because here's the thing is, one of the things I did a video. I said, "Why not?" Because here's the thing is, one of the things I did a video called "3 Power Plays of Closing Deals." Right. The number one thing is, see, everything on social media is to get the prospect to take a call to action, right? I get that. I said, well, why am I going to wait? So I said, number one is this. I must take action. I can't wait for a video to make me sick. I can't wait for a content to make me sick. I have to make it personal, right? So the most powerful engagement I can give anybody is me. What more is better than that? Because at the end of the day, we all want personal attention, right? So I never lose, because that's basic, fundamental, basic human nature. So all I do is take what's out there, that's automation. I add my flavor, I add my originality, uniqueness, and authenticity. And at the end, I get a higher engagement ratio, a higher conversion ratio, and I produce more sales. And they go, why are you calling me? I said, because you need what I have. I got to get you to want what I have because you need it. And they go like, what are you talking about? Then I have a strategy that I make it where we having a conversation. So I look at it this way, like you just said, you got to make it personal, right? You got to make it, because at the end, I'm a customer, and the business owner I'm speaking to is a customer and a business owner. And they're hiring me to get them business customers that are business owner. So that's called a tripod. So I make it like we're on the same page. And they're like, I can't believe you talk to me like that. I said, because you're used to the BS. Now, at the end, they can't argue. So I break their defense mechanism. As long as they listen to me and I understand what they want, I'll give them what they want because they need it. And then that's how I close deals. So, so I learned that I don't want to be an influencer. No, that's not my goal. I will wind up becoming that, but not because I'm pushing for it. Because I think that's an ego move, because you believe you can, like I tell people, that's an ego move because you believe you can, like I tell people, if I have to motivate you, you are in big doo-doo. You're in trouble, because motivation is something that comes within. I may inspire you to be better and encourage you to be better, but if I'm motivating you, you're dead, because I don't sleep with you. I don't live with you. I don't wake up with you. So what do you need? But you motivate me. I said, then I can't help you. If I motivate you, I cannot help you, because it's a short-term fix. You know what I mean? So this led me to the 5-5-5 rule. So what happens is I train my people and even my clients. I say, here's what we do. You're not going to pay for leads. We're going to use your social media. We're going to go on Google. We're going to go on Better Business Bureau. We're going to go on Yahoo and Bing and all these free platforms. And we're going to cold call them, because we're going to target the right prospects. So some people want to advertise to the mass when their audience is really minuscule. So if you're getting 1,000 leads a week, you got to go through all those leads and you don't even know if they're real or they're disconnected. Why not just target? So I target. So I said, every day we're going to get 5 qualified leads, whatever the qualifications is for your services, right? And then every day we're going to have 5 follow-up calls. And then every week we're going to have 5 sales or 1 sale a day. It doesn't matter. If your price is $20,000 per service and you do 5, that's $100,000. You see my point? So now what happens is, so let's say Monday, I get 5 calls. This is what I do every day. So I'm on the phone 7 hours a day, every day. So if I get 5 qualified leads for one of my clients Monday, I schedule a follow call with them either Tuesday or Wednesday, the latest. I don't let it go more than that. Usually I do it the next day. Usually I push them to do a sale with me the first time, but if they need an extra day, I give it to them. Now what happens is the next day, which is Tuesday, I have to get 5 qualified leads, right? But I also have 5 follow-up calls that day too. And then now Wednesday, I have 5 follow-up calls from Tuesday, but I also have to get 5 leads. And then Thursday, and then it repeats, right? So by the end of the week, you got 50 qualified leads, and I could get the dumbest person to close 10% of 50 people, which is 5. So now you got 5 people, you got 5 customers. You may say, well, that's not a lot of customers. Well, if you got a lot of services, you have a lot of upsell, right? If your product is a $5,000 initial cost, that's 25 grand in 1 week for 5 customers. Do you see my point? So
I see it.
I've been doing that for a long time. And what it is, people don't like basic. People don't like the grind. People don't like the right word. I love the grind. Like, I don't have to